Morning and happy Thursday, and welcome to part 2 of the warm weather training Spanish vlog. So I'm out a little bit later this morning because today is actually my first day of holiday. So I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I'm off today, so I've given myself a little bit of a lie-in because also the plan is not to go as far this morning, but I am going to be doing hills, and there are a lot of hills around here, so I'm going to do probably about 1.5 mile warm-up and then do some activations because my calves are a bit tight, so I'll probably do like a proper full-on warm-up this morning, and then 10 by whatever I sort of feel comfortable with hills wise, because the gradients are quite steep around here, so I'll either do time or I'll choose a distance based on that, and then a little cool down back home. So yeah, that is the plan for the morning. Don't think the hill that I'm gonna go to is gonna be shady, unfortunately, but yeah, I guess I'll just have to make do what I can. I made the decision to come up a bit later, so yeah, right, crack on. I'm just going down the 3 hills of death, which is a nice way to do it. I did contemplate actually using one of the 3 hills as my hill reps this morning, but I decided against it. So yeah, anyway, right, lovely day again. Off to go and throw myself up some hills. Right, that is the hill. Partly shady, partly not. It's fairly steep, and it's about 150 to 160 metres. Like, watch the miles, very important. But yeah, I'm going to try and do 10 reps of this and see how I feel. Whew. Halfway, so that's 5 hill reps done. It is tough because it gets steeper towards the top, so it's alright for the first 50 metres maybe, but then the next 100 start to get steeper, so feeling it, but it's good. Like I said, it great for a bit of shade nearer the top as well. And I'm running sort of, I don't know, 35-36 seconds for each rep at the moment, so I'll work out exactly how far it is when I get back. Whew. There's people driving past thinking I'm mad as well, which is probably fair. 8 down, 2 to go. I seem to have found my hype song there. I've sort of basically got a song called Jungle by Fred again on repeat, and it's working an absolute treat. So yeah, there we go. If you don't have it on your playlist, try it. Jungle by Fred again. 10 by 150-60 metres done. Up that hill. It was hard, that, as I said, just because that gradient got quite steep towards the end, but at least I've done it. And yeah, so now I'm just cool down back home, so mileage for the morning will be around about 5.5, so much lower volume day today, but obviously with a bit more intensity with the hill sprints. And then I don't really have any plans for the day, to be honest, which is quite nice. I'm probably just gonna embrace the sunshine, do a bit of reading, maybe in the garden, might have a little go on Claire's Lilo in the pool, and generally just take it easy, and then we're off out to dinner at a restaurant on the at the golf course tonight. So yeah, another beautiful day. I think there's going to be a couple of cloudy days coming up, which actually, given that I'm doing my long run on Saturday, might not be a bad thing, but fingers crossed. So I don't think I've showed you the pool area yet, so this is kind of the communal bit, which is just, I mean, it's literally like on the doorstep of the apartment. But yeah, this will get busy, a little bit busier later on. It never gets super busy, to be fair. Yeah, it's a nice good side pool. Might go for a dip later on. So I forgot to mention earlier on, actually, today is sort of moving day for us. So we're at the apartment, at Claire's dad's apartment, and we have been since Saturday. But her dad and stepmom are actually flying out this evening. So there is a second bedroom, but we've decided we're going to go and stay at the hotel on the golf course for the next 3 nights. So we are moving from the apartment about a mile down the road to the Finca Golf Resort Hotel for the next 3 nights. We've never been there, actually. Of all the sort of visits we've had to La Finca, we've never actually ventured down to the hotel, so it'd be nice to go and see what it's like. So yeah, it's about 5 o'clock now. Claire is just finishing work, or sort of wrapping up loose ends, and then we'll probably head over there in sort of an hour or so, giving the apartment a bit of a clean this afternoon and whatnot. So yeah, looking forward to that, and then off for a nice dinner this evening. Right, enjoy the rest of the sunshine. So good morning and happy Friday from Spain. So as you can see, there are a few clouds around this morning, which is actually quite pleasant for running, really. I think they're going to burn off later, so I don't think it's going to be like this all day. But actually, as you can see, it definitely feels less sort of intense this morning, which is great. Although I am only going to be doing an easy run this morning, so the plan is around about 10 miles. That seems to be kind of my stock distance this week, but easy, so between 8 and 8-minute 30 miles. And we are actually now at the hotel as well, so I've set off from there this morning. Didn't sleep very well, another new bed, so yeah, I'm feeling a little jaded this morning, but 10 miles easy in nice cooler conditions, but still warm. So this morning I should be just about right now getting on a Eurostar to go to Bordeaux to run the Marathon du Médoc this weekend. So there's about 20 of our Harrier gang going, and I've got a place and I was meant to be there, but fortunately some circumstances dictated in Claire and I's personal lives that meant that I decided not to do it. So unfortunately, I mean, I say unfortunately, this is a lovely alternative being in Spain, but yes, I should be getting ready to run 26.2 miles with a load of wine tomorrow, so good luck to all my Harrier friends doing it. I believe they've got some excellent fancy dress lined up, and I look forward to seeing the pictures and the videos of how they get on. So you may have noticed that I'm wearing a different colour top this morning. I had a comment on my part 1 video from a guy who I used to know from school, my school days, asking how many of those blue London tops I've got. And yes, fair, I do wear that top a lot, but I promise you I'll wash it. Particularly whilst we've been here at the apartment, I've washed my kit every day, so I know there's been a little bit of duplication, but I thought just some balance, I wear a different coloured top today, but I promise I'm washing my tops on a regular basis. It is so much nicer with this cloud cover. It feels sort of normal today, so I'm just running around about 8-minute miles at the moment, and heart rate is where I'd expect it to be if we're back home. So, well, maybe a touch higher actually, because it is still theoretically sort of mid-20s, but just not having the actual direct sunshine on is such a help. So yeah, this is feeling far nicer, far more pleasant. Like I said, hopefully it should burn off for later so that we can have a nice day of sunshine by the pool and out and about. So we went out for a nice meal last night actually. So we went to a restaurant called Misto, which is one of the golf resort restaurants, but it was actually really nice, very quite swanky and quite expensive, but it's like a steak restaurant. It's quite new as well, so very modern, sort of the decor was sort of very minimalistic. All the waiters and waitresses kind of had belts on that said Misto on it. So yeah, it was quite a trendy vibe. Wasn't super. We booked. We went at 8:30. Wasn't super busy. They're only open Thursday to Sunday, I think. So we went Thursday night. So I had like a scallop starter, and then a ribeye, and Claire had ribeye for main. I forget what she had for starter. I'll come back to you. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it was a really nice evening actually. It was good. But yeah, punchy in terms of pricing. So that's our one kind of blowout meal this week. And then we're going back to the apartment tonight for a barbecue with Claire's dad and stepmom, which will be lovely to see them. How could I forget what she had for starter? She had these delicious hamon croquettes, which actually were really delicious, you know. So yeah, she had that for starter. Right, that was really bugging me. Glad I remembered that. I love Spain. I love the food, the wine, the people, the culture, the scenery, the weather. I tell you what I don't like though, dog poo. It seems to be everywhere. It's so bizarre. Everywhere it's so clean around it. Everything is clean, but dog poo. I don't know whether it's just not a thing to pick up your dog poo in Spain or not, but it's everywhere. I've been dodging it for the whole week since I've been doing this run. Very bizarre. Amazing country, beautiful, but I don't know why you don't pick your dog poo up. So I'm on the final stretch, if you like, now, so about 1.5 miles to go, with this sort of steady drag uphill back to the Finca from Algorfa, back to the hotel. So interestingly, there's 2 football teams staying at the hotel. Now, I'm not a huge football fan. If it's on, I'll watch it, but I used to be a bigger supporter when I was younger, but I don't really follow it too much these days. However, if you do follow football, there's a team called Elche here, which I think is the local team, but I believe they play in La Liga, which is like the equivalent of the Premier League in Spain. So they're staying. We saw them on their team bus heading for a friendly last night actually. And then the other team that are here are the England under-19 team football, men's. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Now, there are a couple of like really nice all-weather pitches up near Claire's dad's apartment actually, which I think they train on, but they must be over here doing some sort of warm weather training or something. We saw them all in their kit last night, and I think maybe they were either heading to training or coming back from training. But yeah, so a couple of big football teams out here. There we go. Right, so any second my watch should click over to 10 miles, and I'm just running under the bridge. There we go, that's 10 miles, and I'm just running under the bridge to back to the hotel, and it's going to be a very quick turnaround, quick shower, and then out for breakfast. Not out for breakfast, but to the hotel for breakfast, because I believe it shuts at 10:30, and it's about 1:45 now. So here we are, the Finca Golf Resort, and the sun is trying to come out. this is the room at the Finca Golf Hotel. So nice big, I mean, Finca's a super king. It's a big old bed that. And then yeah, you've got TV, excuse the sort of chaos of the shoes under there. And then you've got a little armchair, and then this is our sort of outside area. Again, excuse my running kit drying, but we've got our own little sort of patio area with sun lounges, and then the pool is just over in the distance there. But yeah, so it's actually quite a nice room. I think our plan, we've just been for coffee with Claire's dad and stepmom, and we've just come back, and now we are going to spend a bit of time by the pool, doing a bit of reading and just generally having a chill before we head back over there for a barbecue later on. Yeah, it's nice. They're in a natural habitat. Good morning and happy Saturday. So I am out on my Saturday long run, not Sunday long run, because we fly home tomorrow, so I'm not going to get a chance to get out, well, and do a long one. I might get out and be able to do a shorter one tomorrow, but not a long one, so I am out, and the plan is to do about 18 miles this morning, so a little bit less than what I did last Sunday. And there are a few clouds around, but it's also, I think, going to burn off quite quickly. So yeah, I got out about 5 to 8, so it's a little bit later than I managed to get out last Sunday. But yeah, so 18 miles. Route wise, I am going to run to the sea. So there is a kind of a beach town called Guadamar, which I can run to all the way along the river, I believe. I've looked at it on maps, etc., and that looks to be the case. To there it's about 12 miles. So at 12 miles I'll get to the sea. Claire is going to be there waiting for me, and we're going to do the same as last week, refill water bottles, depending how I'm feeling, maybe sit in the car for a minute or two and get some aircon, and then carry on for the last 6. And then we're going to have a little bit of a chill and a coffee and down by the beach is the plan. So yeah, all being well, I will be in Guadamar at about 9:30. So right, let's get going. So I'm at the river about 2.5 miles in, so just under 10 to get to Guadamar, all along here. No real pace planned today. I was a bit apprehensive about this run because of how Sunday went and how I felt. So the purpose again of today really is just time on feet, bank some miles in the legs, but I'm not going to try and push it and do kind of any specific marathon pace training, or yeah, this is just about getting through it in the heat and getting those miles in the legs, and I think that's a sensible approach. So yeah, hopefully, I said this route should be reasonably flat. This kind of gravelly stuff, it's not ideal for running on, but you know, it's better than grass or hills or whatever, so I'll make the most of it. So yeah, about another 9.5-ish miles down here. Sun's up. I am hoping a few clouds will come across. That is the forecast, but let's wait and see. Not a lot I can do about that. Control the controllables. So hydration wise this morning, I'm carrying 2 350ml soft flasks. One with just water, and the other one I've actually mixed a rehydration sachet in. So I guess like a form of electrolytes, I suppose. Which I'm sort of trialing really. I have taken salt tablets in marathons previously, but yeah, so I've actually got that rehydration mix in one of the soft flasks this morning. For those of you that watched part 1 of the Spain trip will know that on the long run I do have a hydration based vest with me, but it's too big and I couldn't get it tight enough, so that would have held an extra 1.5 litres of water, which would have meant that I wouldn't need to worry about seeing Claire for this additional stop. But 700 ml of water will not last me this entire run, so that's why I'm doing a pit stop with Claire at 12 miles. Ooh, I think that's scaring birds off there. That's quite a loud bang. So I'm trying the rehydration sachet this time. We'll see how we get on. So all being well, and I get this run done today, that will be almost 80 miles Sunday to Saturday, which is great mileage. And I might try and just go out for a little shakeout in the morning, potentially, but yeah, so between I think 80 and 85 miles for the sort of Spanish trip, which I'm really pleased about. I have really fatigued the legs. This is feeling okay so far, but we are only 4 miles in, and I know it's going to get tough, but that's what you've got to do in marathon training, haven't you? There aren't any kind of shortcuts or quick fixes. You've just got to put the miles in, even when you're on a holiday. So but if I can get this done today, get out for a little shakeout in the morning, I'll be really pleased with how this week's gone, even though I think physically it's taken quite a lot out of me. But as I said, that's marathon training. So that's about 6 miles in now, so halfway to the seaside, and about a third of the way through the full run. So as I said, it's 6 out of 18-ish. Don't know if you've noticed, but I'm wearing shocks today. So these are Claire's Boston Marathon shocks that she bought at the expo. Obviously mine, I do have a pair, but they're broken, and so I've been wearing AirPods. But the problem is, I am quite a sweaty man, particularly on these long runs in the heat, and I'm just constantly trying to adjust and keep them in my ears. So I just wanted as few distractions as I could today, so Claire's very kindly lent me her shocks, and I do prefer wearing them for runs, to be fair, so I might have to invest in a pair myself, I think. So I've actually come into some sort of residential area. All I know is as long as I keep the river on my left, I should be fine. But yeah, this is the path's a lot nicer to run on as well. It's like a proper actual pavement. So yeah, excellent. So I actually recognise where I am now, because when we stayed last year, we sort of split the trip up into two because there were quite a few of us, and we stayed in a villa for the first 3 or 4 nights in a little village kind of along the coast towards Guatemala, and that is where I'm just running through now, because I did this route last year, so that's good. I know where I am. But yeah, it's a lot more built up. The path is a lot easier to run on. The river, obviously, you can actually see it now, as opposed to it just being weeds, etc. But yeah, I know I've just got to keep this on my left and I should be okay. So that's 8 miles in, and there's something really nice about point to point, knowing that I'm not going to go back and retrace all these steps. Obviously the further you get away, the more you know you've got to run back. But yeah, when you're going in one direction, you know your destination at the end. I think mentally it makes it a bit easier. Like I'm going to have to do a little bit of like looping around when I get into Guatemala, I think. But for the most part, you know, I'm running from the hotel to the sea, and then we're driving back in the car after coffee and brunch. So it's actually quite a nice motivator. The sun is just starting to creep out, which is not ideal. But as I said, control the pulse. We're still feeling all right, so just over 8 miles in. So I think this is telling me that I'm here, but I could be wrong. Maybe not. So just over 10 miles now. So over halfway, and feeling alright still, to be honest. The sun has not made a huge appearance. Like I said, there's just some misty cloud up there, which is just easing the temperature slightly and making this, yeah, a little bit more palatable than last week. So 2 miles-ish until I see Claire, and then another 6 after that, and then coffee time, which I'm very much looking forward to. Some of you may be wondering why I've dropped back down on my long run from a 21 to an 18. This was a kind of a tactic or a plan that I used from Manchester, whereas I didn't sort of gradually increase my long runs. I did some 20-mile ones early on, and I dropped into some halves. And I think it's good just not like absolutely like hammering the legs every Sunday. I don't know whether there's any science behind it or not, but it seemed to work for me for Manchester. And yeah, I think as long as I bank a couple of 20 miles, which I've done now, I might do one more, then that's just sort of a confidence boost, really, knowing that you can get that far. But yes, as I said, I don't sort of naturally progress the long runs up. I am trying to naturally progress the overall mileage per week up, but I think this will probably be a peak week for me. I don't think I'll be doing more than this again, just because I won't have the time when I get home. There we go, 800 metres, so less than a kilometre to Guatemala. I think I might have gone lost somewhere. Yeah, I think I'm lost. I think I need to be over the other side of there. Right. Okay, I think I'm back on track. I think. Yeah, I should not have gone underneath that. On that sort of little trail. That was not the right way. So yeah, I'm coming into Guatemala now. I am a little bit late for Claire, but there's not a lot I can do about it. I got lost. Just running up a cycle path now. I think this is the right way. I hope this is the right way. I think I'm nearly there. I think it's left down here. And then I should be nearly, yeah, just in a text from Claire saying she's here as well. Ooh, made it in the end. Well, nearly, almost. Yeah, I recognise down this bit now, so it's a little bit downhill towards the seafront. I'm hoping Claire will be somewhere obvious. I feel pretty good. 12 miles in, so maybe that rehydration sachet stuff really worked. But yeah, 6 miles to go. I feel fine actually. I've run out of water, so I definitely need to top my water back up. But I'm not sure that I really need much of a rest stop, which is nice. Not something you see every day on your runs. Like peacocks, I think they might be. I spy a Claire. There she is. And there, everybody, is the seaside. We made it. And actually, I've done an extra mile because I got lost, so I'm at 13 miles, not 12. So, there you go. There she is. The seaside. Looks a bit choppy today, doesn't it? So that is my water topped up. I didn't get in the car actually. I felt good. I didn't want to stop for too long. Although stupidly, I forgot to stop my watch. So that mile is going to look, well, when I finish it's going to look ridiculous. But never mind. So I'm now in a kind of some sort of park, I think, running up to the end point, so where the river meets the sea, and then I'll go back. Yeah, so I actually ended up doing 13 miles to meet Claire, so I've only got 5 to go, which is quite nice. So obviously ordinarily, at this time on a Saturday morning, I'll be doing parkrun, but they don't have parkrun in Spain, I don't think. So, but I am in a park, and it is around about 9 AM UK time. So this is kind of my homage to parkrun, but it is quite a steady one. I'm only doing like 8-minute miles at the moment, so yeah, but 14.2 miles in, 4-ish to go. And this is where the river meets the sea. So I have made it the entire way from La Finca to the sea. About 14.5 miles, with a little stop of course. See there. But I'm gonna run out right out to the lookout point and then turn around and head back. Well, obviously I can't go any further unless I want to swim. Oh, there's loads of people surfing. There's loads of people out. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's little bodies in the sea. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine why this would be good for surfing. Yeah, I might get out here in a minute. I don't fancy getting sucked in all those big waves, but amazing. This is a lovely little cove, isn't it? So that is done to the end of Guadamar, from La Finca to the source, or not the source, so the sea. And now I am running back towards where I met Claire. That'll take me to 17-ish, and then I'll just do a little loop up and back to get to 18. Feeling good though, like, feels so much better than this time last week. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty cloudy. It actually looks like it might rain, but it's a lot cooler and there's a lot more breeze and the sun is a lot less intense, so that's made it a lot easier, which is nice. Lovely morning for it. Yeah, it's just gone 10 o'clock actually, so I was a little bit early with my timings earlier on. Well, there must be, I don't know, 30 surfers in there. Good on them. Make the most of it. 16 miles done, so nearly there. But this, yeah, I mean, I've slowed, but purposefully. Like, it's just about time on feet now. So I'm about 2 miles away from the finish, when we're going to go to a cafe called Valenti's, again, which we come to usually when we come down to Guadamar. When we're here, have a coffee, have some brunch, and then head back. And I think it's meant to be fairly cloudy all day today actually, so I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do this afternoon. Claire's dad and stepmom are golfing, so they're teeing off at 11:10, so they'll be done about 3:30ish I think. And we had a nice barbecue at theirs last night. It wasn't too late in the end as well. I was purposefully conscious of trying to get back and get an early night, although yet again I didn't sleep very well, but hey ho. So right, yeah, let's get these last 2 miles done. So about half a mile to go. I'm just going sort of down the main drag. As you can see, lots of people already out having their morning coffees and morning beers, I believe, as well. I mean, why not? It's Saturday, I guess. So yeah, my plan is just find a turnaround point around up here somewhere, head back, and then that is Saturday long run done. So that was 18.3 miles done. Well, thank you. Yes. 18.3 miles done, and it felt way better than last week. So we've just come for a little coffee at a bar called Valenti, sat by the seaside. A bit cloudy, looks like there even is a chance it might rain. But obviously I've got changed. Apologies, you can see I'm still a little bit sweaty. But yeah, nice way to start the day and way more encouraging than last week. So we are just having a late lunch at the sort of terrace bar of the hotel. It's about 3:30, and I had to have a little nap this afternoon because I was pretty shattered from obviously the run this morning and not having slept brilliantly. But I feel a little bit more with it now, which is nice. And then today is our last day, so we leave tomorrow. I'm going to try and get out for a little shakeout in the morning. And then that will be around about 61-62 miles for the week. So what's quite interesting is the difference between Strava and Coros in terms of where they think I'm at fitness-wise.
So Strava, on its kind of fitness graph, thinks I'm the fittest I've been in the last 2 years, and that includes training for Manchester. Coros, on the other hand, thinks I was far fitter earlier this year when I was deep in my Boston training. In my gut, I'm more inclined to agree with Coros. I think I was fitter earlier this year when I was, banging out 65 mile weeks for the Boston training. But it is interesting that they both think quite differently. Also, Strava has amended my goal time again, and it looks like it thinks I'm going to run it in 3 hours 5 minutes. So it's got worse than it was. But its fitness says I'm the fittest I've ever been. So that's a little bit of a contradiction in terms. But yeah, there we go. Let's wait and see. I guess only time will tell, and we'll see what happens on the day. Good morning and happy Sunday from our final morning in Spain. So I'm just on a very, very gentle recovery run this morning, just to get the legs sort of ticking over a little bit before we fly home. So quite a quick turnaround. I'll get back, shower, breakfast, check out and head to the airport. And our flight is at 1:45, I think. So it's about 8:30 now, but I'm literally just going to get out for 25 minutes, half an hour, something like that, just to get a shakeout. So yeah, that's our sort of week in Spain done. It's been really nice. It's also been a bit of a mix, because between Claire and I, we've probably worked for half of it. But in terms of the training, I'm really pleased. I've done, as I said, about 83 miles by the end of this run in those 8 days. And whilst it has felt tough at times, it has been warm, and far warmer than it's going to be in Chicago. So the sort of various different kind of runs I've done, the marathon sessions, the longer sessions, the hill sessions, hopefully should pay dividends in 5 weeks' time. As Chicago is now 5 weeks today. Where do I think I'm at? It's really tough to say. I'd like to think I'm in sub 3 shape, but I guess we'll just see what happens on the day. There are so many other factors to go into it. Strava doesn't think I can do it. Coros does. I guess it just doesn't really matter. I guess it's what I think I can do. I'll certainly probably go out either with the 2:55 pacer and sort of try and cling on, because I'm never going to negative split a marathon. I always tire, but it's just how much I tire. Or run my own race. But I've got a bit of time to decide. I've got 5 weeks yet. So. Right, anyway, I'm not going to make this a long vlog this morning, because there's not going to be lots to tell you. So these are the training football pitches that I was talking about. So it looks like England under 19s are out here playing a series of friendlies. So I think they played Spain on Friday or Saturday, and they're playing the Ukraine. Or they've played the Ukraine, or they've got another game on Tuesday anyway. But yeah, this is where you see quite a few sports teams come and practice. A bit of warm weather training for it. Right, so that is the end of the Spanish training camp. So just coming up to about 3 miles. So very gentle shakeout this morning, just over 25 minutes. Just coming back to the hotel, and then we are off. So that is part 2 of the Spanish warm weather training vlog done. 61 miles, I think, if you look at the Strava data for the 7 days from Monday, and about 82 from last Sunday. So yeah, a good session. 5 weeks to Chicago. I've just got to maintain this momentum now, certainly for the next 2 or 3 weeks before the taper, and hope that I've done enough. See you next week.